Well, we have another question here. This is a very important question in the examination point of view, and this is sometimes asked also. So this comes as a 6-mark question. Okay, so let's discuss on this question. Let f be a function from w to w. What is w? The set of w is set of whole numbers. Defined as f of n is equal to n minus 1 if n is odd and n plus 1 if n is even. We are familiar with this kind of function. So f of n when n minus 1 when n is odd and when n is even, the function value is n plus 1. Show that f is invertible and hence find the inverse. Show that f is invertible and hence find the inverse. Now how will we show that f is invertible? That is f is 1 1 and on 2. Okay, so let's see how will we prove that it is 1 1. Okay, here there are two cases when n is odd and n is even. So when n is odd, okay, when n is odd, we are checking for 1 1. When n is odd, let I take x1 comma x2 belongs to the domain of the function such that f of x1 equals f of x2. What does this implies? Implies that when n is odd, it is x1 minus 1 is equal to x2 minus 1. 1 and minus 1 cancels from both sides, gives me the value x1 equals x2. Right? But here we cannot say anything about a 1 1ness. Only the first part is simplified. Okay. Now, when n is even, let x1 comma x2 belongs to the domain of the function such that f of x1 equals f of x2. What does this implies to? x1 plus 1 is equal to x2 plus 1, isn't it? The function is what? n plus 1 when it is even. 1 and 1 cancels from both sides, which implies x1 equals x2. Right? So this part is done. What if x1 is even and x2 is odd, or what if x1 is odd and x2 is even? So let's consider that also. When x1 is even and x2 is odd, okay, there is a possibility of this kind also, right? So then I take x1, let x1 comma x2 belongs to the domain of the function such that f of x1 equals f of x2 implies x1 is even. x1 is even means what? What I get here? x1 plus 1 is equal to x2 is odd. When it is odd, it is x2 minus 1. Right? x2 minus 1. This implies x1 minus x2, I brought this x to this side, x1 minus x2 is equal to, there is minus 1 here, when I bring this 1 to this side, I get it as minus 2. Right? x1 minus x2 is minus 2. Now, what does this say? x1 minus x2 is equal to 2. Right? Whether being the greater value or lesser value, when the difference between an even and an odd gives you the value 2. Forget about this plus or minus being here. Can the even number and an odd number, the difference between the even number and an odd number, can it give the value 2? You take any two values, say 3 and say 6. 3 is odd, 6 is even. Difference, will you get to? No. So this is a contradiction. That means this is not possible. Right? This is a contradiction. That means which is not possible. The same thing happens when nx is odd and x1 is odd and x2 is even. Am I clear to what I am saying? When I take x1 as even and x2 as odd, I must take two different functions and I finally find that the difference between this odd number and an even number is 2, which is a contradiction to all the values that you take x1 as even and x2 as odd. You take x1 as an even number, x2 as an odd number, you find the difference will never give you the value 2. Right? So, here this is not possible. That means this is a contradiction. Similarly I can say when x1 is odd and x2 is even. x2 is even. This situation is also a contradiction. This is also a contradiction which will give you what? The same thing. That is the difference between x1 and x2 will be 2. So, which is a contradiction? That means x1 odd and an even number, the difference between an odd and an even number giving you the value 2. That is a contradiction. So, that is also not possible. So, the rest of the cases you take. So, you cannot include these values, right? The only value that you can include is these, right? Where x1 and x2 are odd and x1 and x2 are even. So, what can I say? Therefore, f is 1, 1. Because this part is excluded. We are not at all bothered about this because this is not a possibility at all. Right? So it is 1, 1. Now coming to onto. Okay. So in order to understand ontoness, I shall draw a figure here where the arrow diagram deposits the function f. Okay. It is for the whole numbers. Whole number starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Right? So let me finish off with 0, 1, 2 and 3. I'll start with 1, 2 and 3 and let's see whether if the mapping is possible, if all the elements are having a pre-image, then it's fine. We can simply say that it is 1, 1 and onto. I mean, if it has a pre-image, it's onto. If it has an image, it is 1, 1. Okay, let's see. 0. 0 is even or odd. We take 0 as an even number because 0 is even, 2 is even, 4 is even, like that. So this is 0 is an even number. So 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay. When you take 1, 1 is an odd number. So 1 minus 1, that is 0. Then comes 2, 2 is an even number. When it is even number, 2 plus 1, 3. When it is an odd number, next one is 3. 3 minus 1, 2. So when you look at the first 4 numbers itself, we can see that there is a 1, 1 ontoness. Right? 1, 1 ontoness. So that you can say that the function is onto. But in order to write it in a proper manner, I consider another arrow diagram. Right? Now, I take a value 2r. What is 2r? 2r is a even number. Where? In this set. Right? In this set. Set is w. Here also it is w. So 2r is an even number. 2r is mapped to where? 2r, when it is an even number, it is mapped to this side with the value n plus 1. Here the value of n is 2r. So what will it be mapped to? Here you will get it as 2r plus 1. Isn't it? N is mapped to n plus 1 when n is even. 2r is mapped to 2r plus 1 when 2r is even. So, when it is, so this is being the even number. Consider the odd number 2r plus 1. When it is an odd number, what is happening? When n is odd, this is n. N is odd. The value that you get here, the image is n minus 1. That is 2r plus 1 minus 1. That is what? 2r plus 1 minus 1. 2r. That is, here 2r is even mapped to 2r plus 1. N is even. When n is odd, it is mapped to n minus 1. Here n is what? 2r plus 1 minus 1. That is 2r. Okay. So this is 1, 1. For every even number, you have an odd number to which it is mapped to, and every even number, you have an odd number that is mapped to. So that is exactly the simplified version of this part. Now coming to the ontoness, checking for ontoness. See, this is ontoness. Right? Can I write this? Corresponding to 2r plus 1. What is 2r plus 1? 2r plus 1 is the odd number. Right? 2r plus 1 which belongs to the codomain of the function. There exists 2r in the domain of the function, and corresponding to every 2r. 2r is what? Even number, which belongs to the codomain of the function, there exists 2r plus 1 in the domain of the function. Right? It's very clear. For corresponding to every odd number, you have an even number. Every odd number, you have an even number. To every even number, you have an odd number. So what can I say? This implies f is onto. F is onto. Now you are asked to so that f is 1 1, f is onto, therefore f is invertible. Right? F is invertible. So the first part is over. We have proved it is 1 1, we have proved it is onto. Now hence find the inverse. Okay, so let's find the inverse. I consider my inverse as f inverse of m. Where does this m come from? See, if you consider this as a function here, n is here, when it is mapped under the function f, I am getting f of n is equal to m. Okay, I have taken this as m. So the inverse means what? Comes from this side to this side, that is f inverse. F inverse of what? M. Right? F inverse of m. Let's see what is f inverse of m. F inverse of m, where this m is where? In the codomain. When m is even, 2r. Right? When m is even, you are getting it as 2r plus 1, that is m plus 1. See, m plus 1. So when m is even, it is m plus 1. That is m plus 1. And when m is even. Okay, I can write m plus 1. The function f inverse m is m plus 1 when m is even. M is where? In the codomain. Here I have m as what? Even number. When it finds the pre-image, it is m plus 1. That is m is even. That means it is m plus 1. Now, when m is odd, right? Here it is m minus 1. M minus 1. M is odd, it is m minus 1. Right? So this is the inverse. The inverse happens like this, that is when m is even, it is m plus 1, and m is odd, it is m minus 1. So once we prove that it is 1 1 and onto, then we simply write what? This is n here, this is m here. Okay, since it is not given as x in the function, I have taken it as m, and n is the image. Now here you see 2r plus 1 is odd. 2r plus 1 is odd, so that its pre-image is 2r, which is an even number. Even number means it is m plus 1. So f inverse of m is m plus 1 when m is even, and m minus 1 when m is odd. I hope this is clear. Okay, just look into this and then come to the conclusion. Okay, so now we come to the next problem. Show that f the function from R to set of all x belonging to R such that minus 1 less than x less than 1 defined by f of x is equal to x by 1 plus mod x, where x belongs to R is 1 1 and onto. This is what we need to prove, that this function given is 1 1 and onto. Now here the domain of the function is a set of real numbers, and the range of the function is open interval minus 1 1, where x is belonging to R. Okay, so let's see how to prove this 1 1 and onto. Now this is an important question in the examination point of view, and you can expect this question for 6 months. So let's move into the solution of this question. Proving it to be 1 1. To prove it as 1 1, as always I take let x1 comma x2 belongs to the domain of the function such that f of x1 equals f of x2, right? This implies x1 by 1 plus mod of x1 is equal to x2 by 1 plus mod of x2. Now since here it is a modulus function, you know modulus of x gives you minus x for the values of x less than 0 and positive x for the values of x greater than 0. So we need to consider all the possible cases of the modulus when we discuss on this particular function. Okay, so which are those cases? I can write the cases as modulus of x1. Modulus of x1 is positive, right? So modulus of x1 is equal to x1 and modulus of x2 is equal to x2. So this is the first case. Modulus of x1 equals minus of x1 and modulus of x2 equals minus of x2. So this is the second case. In the third case, modulus of x1 is negative of x1 and modulus of x2 is positive x2. And finally, modulus of x1 is x1, positive x1 and modulus of x2 is negative x2. So these are the four cases which we need to discuss on to prove that this function is 1, 1. So let's take the first case. Okay. So first case where modulus of x1 is x1, positive x1 and modulus of x2 is x2, that is both are positives. Okay, so what does this function happens to be? It becomes x1 by 1 plus x1, modulus of x1 is positive x1, x1 by 1 plus x1 equals x2 by 1 plus x2 because modulus of x2 is x2 itself. Now cross multiplying x1 into 1 plus x2 is equal to what? x2 into 1 plus x1. When you remove the brackets, x1 plus x1 x2 is equal to x2 plus x1 x2. So what happens here? x1 x2 cancels, x1 equals x2. Right? Now in the second case. In the second case where modulus of x1 is negative of x1 and modulus of x2 is negative of x2. Right? So what does this function happens to be? x1 by 1 minus x1 is equal to x2 by 1 minus x2. Cross multiply x1 into 1 minus x2 is equal to x2 into 1 minus x1. So x1 minus x1 x2 is equal to x2 minus x1 x2. So both these cancels, giving you x1 equals x2. Okay, so that case is also over. So now coming to the third case. What is the third case here? When modulus of x1 is minus of x1 and modulus of x2 is positive x2. Okay, so coming over here in this function, x1 by 1 minus x1 is equal to x2 by 1 plus x2. This implies x1 into 1 plus x2 equals x2 into 1 minus x1. This implies x1 plus x1 x2 is equal to x2 minus x1 x2. What does this implies? x1 minus x2 is equal to minus of 2x1 x2. Now see, x1 is negative, right? x2 is positive. But here both the negatives gives you a negative. Is there any contradiction? No contradictions. That means this is true. This equation is what? Equation is true. That means it is 1, 1. The situation is correct, that is x1 equals x2. There is no contradictions there. We are checking for contradictions actually. Now coming for fourth case, modulus of x1 is equal to x1 positive and modulus of x2 is equal to negative of x2. Now substituting in this function, what will I get? x1 is positive, x1 by 1 plus x1 is equal to x2 by 1 minus x2. Cross multiply x1 into 1 minus x2 is equal to x2 into 1 plus x1. removing the brackets, x1 minus x1 x2 is equal to x2 minus x2 x1. Now combining these two, what will I get? x1 minus x2 is equal to, when it comes to this side, no, this is plus here. When it comes to this side, it gives you 2 times x1 x2. Right? I just made a mistake by writing here negative, but this is positive. So x1 minus x2 is equal to 2x1 x2. Here further, this x2 is what? Negative. So negative of negative gives you what? Positive. So this side is positive, this side is also positive. Therefore, f is 1 1. Right? F is 1 1. Because in none of these cases there is a contradiction. Now what is a contradiction here? Suppose x1 minus x2 gives you a positive value. Right? In this case. Now what will happen? Here both are negatives, isn't it? x1 is also negative and this is already negative in the function. So definitely you are getting what? A negative value this side. Negative of 2 times x1 x2. But here if you had got here positive and these two being negative, that is a contradiction. The left hand side you have both the values negative and to the right hand side the entire equation gives you a positive value, that is a contradiction. But here there is no contradictions. So all the cases gives you a true thing, a true value, that means it is f is 1 1. So 1 1 is not contradicted anywhere. So it is 1 1. Now coming to onto, to prove that it is onto. What do you have? Y is equal to x by 1 plus mod x. Right? Y is equal to x by 1 plus mod x. Now y into 1 plus mod x is equal to x. Right? Here again there is two different cases happening. That is y into 1 minus x is equal to x and y into 1 plus x is equal to x. This is how I get two conditions here or two cases here, that is mod x being negative and mod x being positive. Now I may express this in terms of what? In terms of x is represented in terms of y. Now x is, both sides you have x. Now I cannot say that this is either x completely or y completely. So here I write in terms of x, whereas y minus yx is equal to x. Y is equal to x plus yx, which is x into 1 plus y. So x is equal to y by 1 plus y. So x is expressed in terms of y here. Similarly, here what will I get? Y plus yx is equal to x. Y is equal to x minus yx. I take an x common out, 1 minus y. So what is x here? X is equal to y by 1 minus y. So these are the two variations of the functions. Here the function is having a mode. That is the only problem happening here in this particular question. That is mod x has to be treated as both positive and negative. That makes this a bit confusing here. But there is no confusion. It is very clear. This mod x I wrote in the first stage it as negative of x. In the second stage I wrote it as positive of x. And this is expressed. X is expressed in terms of y here. Right? Now what is the next part? Now how to prove that it is onto? Corresponding to every y, there exists f of this particular expression such that f of this expression gives you what? Y. I repeat, corresponding to every y that belongs to the codomain of the function, there exists this expression such that f of y, f of this expression gives you what? Y. So that is what I am going to check here. Now, what did I say? Corresponding to every y that belongs to the codomain of the function, there exists y by 1 plus y such that f of y by 1 plus y is equal to y. That is for this case. Similarly, I need to prove it for this one also. Okay, let me see whether I am getting y. Now, f of this, f of y by 1 plus y, what is that? f of y by 1 plus y. What is our f of x? F of x is what? The function f of x. Where do I substitute now? Over here, right? This is the case when mod x is negative. So here in this function, I must have it as negative. So I may write this function as x by 1 minus x when mod x or x is less than 0, x by 1 plus x when x is greater than 0. So it's much clear right now. So substituting this in this particular value, what do I get? Y by 1 plus y by 1 minus y by 1 plus y. Cross multiplying, this gives me y by, denominators are going to be the same, 1 plus y minus y. Y and minus y cancels, and what do I get? Y. Right? So this part I have proved it, f of y by 1 plus y is equal to y. Now corresponding to this, corresponding to every y belong to codomain of the function. So in order to find out for this one, for x is equal to y by 1 minus y, I am substituting it over here. That is f of y by 1 minus y. This happens when the modulus value of x is what? Positive. That is, this is the function y by 1 minus y by 1 plus y by 1 minus y. Simplify, y by 1 minus y plus y. Y and negative y cancel. Again I am getting it as what? Y. So here both the cases, f of this particular expression, give me y, f of this particular expression also gives me y. So what does this infers to? This infers that the function is onto. Okay, you remember how we proved for onto? How did we prove? The function y is equal to f of x. The function y is equal to f of x was expressed in terms of, x was expressed in terms of y. That is how we proved for onto. How? X was expressed in terms of y. So I was just trying to write, this is our function, right? This function here, this is of the form y is equal to f of x. Now this, since it contains modulus value makes the function or splits this function into two, 1 minus x and 1 plus x, right? Now in this case I found the value of x. The x is expressed in terms of y in this case and x is expressed in terms of y in this case. Further, this is the function inside the codomain. So corresponding to every y value there exists f of this expression such that f of this expression gives you what? Y if it is onto. Right? So on substituting I got y, that means the function is onto. Similarly for this also the function is giving you y. F of this expression is also giving you y. So both the cases you get it as y, and hence we conclude that the function is onto. I hope this is a bit lengthier, but it's of course it is lengthy, but if you look into it and try to understand it, do it by your own and see. If the concept is clear, do it by your own and see, then it becomes much clearer to you. Okay, so any doubts we can discuss. So this is it. Just have a look into it. So that's it. Again, you will be receiving assignments both from the textbook as well as there will be an extra worksheet also will be given. Do try doing it. Okay, the worksheets or the assignment questions will follow in the next video.